You're listening and tuning into Ethic Radio, broadcasting live from Los Angeles, California.
And the award for newest radio show on Ethic Radio on Mixlr is Pathfinder Talk Radio. On Ethic Radio, Mixlr, broadcasting from Los Angeles, California. Wait, is that right?
Hold on, no, wait a second, no. Moonlight, you are the just joking, but that did happen.
Yes,
it did happen.
That did happen.
You know what, though? It was funny because I had two expectations from the Oscars. We're going to go really quick over the Oscars because we were just started talking about that over the break, but we are going to cover Suborbital and working with them at SATX. That's coming up in the next couple weeks. Okay. But we were watching the Oscars with Pop, and we were visiting our dad, and while we were watching it, we were talking about how it could end. If La La Land won, what that would really be saying about the society in a sense.
Yeah.
If Moonlight won, what that would be saying. And Moonlight, in my eyes, was the movie that should win because in the way I look at art, you have to create a story that is both based really hardcore in reality, and yet it differs from that reality.
Yeah.
And from what I've read, I haven't been able to see the film because we've been driving and stuff. In fact, that's one thing that we were discussing.
Yeah. We really need to see some movies.
Ethan and Megan, I want to thank you guys for giving the White Elephant AMC tickets to Pat and Monica because they gave us White Elephant AMC tickets, and now we're going to use them. And we're going to go see Moonlight because I was reading the synopsis and the story, and it's actually a very interesting story from what I was reading. Is that
aside from what La La Land is just basically
I had no desire to see La La Land right now. I mean, I like musicals. Musicals are cool. I don't have any desire to see it.
But
I know what the story is.
You see a hard hitting, emotional and real story like Moonlight, and you're like, La La Land, really? It's like, I mean, I like that. I love Emma Stone, and she's like one of the girls I would much like to be divorced to, but
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. When we were watching the show, that was a big thing that I was thinking about. Like, wow, how this ends is really going to speak to because Hollywood controls the narrative in a sense, and so it really speaks to, is there hope? And I think that there was hope in the fact that Moonlight kind of swept all the awards. It's a very difficult story in a sense because if I understand correctly, it's about a young man who's an African American, who's a black man, and growing up in Florida, I believe it is, and he is gay.
Yeah.
And his mother's an addict, and it's about him coming to terms with who he is. I know that Mahershala Ali, I appreciate his work and everything that I've ever seen him in, and the thing is that I believe the scene that I saw was when they went over the term faggot. And he was talking about it, and then even the clip that they showed of him speaking with the main character about his mom and stuff, and that I read a post from a friend that I have on Facebook. In fact, Sean Thesis, who is a MC, an artist himself, and he was saying that he had seen the movie, and the only thing he was angry about was that Mahershala Ali was only in there for a small, like a third of the movie.
Yeah. And
the rest of the movie, he wasn't in there. So the thing that I thought about was automatically that's like Rex Harrison, or that's like, who else did that with like supporting actor? Like they were in there for like the very beginning of the movie, like a small portion, but they had such an impact. And that's really where that you have a good actor, not only a good character, but an actor who can really get into that character and understand it. So, I just thought that was cool. How the whole...
Yeah, and it's like, again, we haven't seen the movie, but we heard very great reviews. I
also heard reviews about Lion, too.
Yeah, and the
that synopsis... was Pat and Monica.
Yeah, the synopsis of Moonlight. And it actually seems like a really interesting and really, hard-hitting film.
Yeah, well,
which, and again... not to diminish La La Land as being anything, but again, happy, it's a happy fantasy dance musical, or actually hard-hitting reality film.
The version of reality. And let me just kind of put a whole idea around here. So, or wrap my generate an idea here on this. So La La Land is a great piece of art in a sense because it's about like the revival of jazz and Hollywood and all that. And then Moonlight in itself is another great piece of art because it's about a life that a lot of people do not live, but there is a portion of people that live this life, and it is difficult, and it's illuminating that to more people. And the way I looked at it with the Oscars was there was two ways that you can go with judging art in regards to, you know, Hollywood, how Hollywood would judge art. They could either judge it as a commercial entity, which is more kind of like what I see La La Land as. This kind of...
No offense, Emma.
No offense to anybody.
Isn't Ryan Gosling, who we've met? He's really
you
nice
have
guy.
a really funny story. We'll
We'll
go on to that tangent later. So it's not about it. That's what that movie was about. More, it was about marketing. It's about checking if the musical can be successful or not, which it is, because there's a lot of people who want to have escapism in this time, whether they're on Trump's side, whether they're against Trump.
Or any other.
They just want to have a place where you can go for a couple hours and not have to see the bullshit. You can kind of get away from it. In Barack Obama's book, Dreams of My Father, I liked it because he was talking about how his mom was watching, oh my gosh, I forgot what the movie was called, but it like takes place in like Brazil. And he had been studying all this stuff, you know, he was at Harvard, he was at, and he had all this understanding of the context of everything. And his mom didn't, so he's watching this film, and he's just like, his mom's so into like, oh, I love the colors and all that, but he was getting the deeper art that was there, and actually the distortion of the reality of the people at that time to tell this story. So, you know, that's what you have to do as an artist. You can either be somebody who distorts reality to try to manipulate people into feeling good and feeling like everything is great and we just need to get up and dance and sing, or you can use that art and manipulate the audience to really see how difficult you know, a certain type of life is. Like I read that Camus when we were in Shabarm Park, the Create Dangerously. And that's really where a lot of that, the foundation for this even project comes from, is that idea that what we're creating is we're trying to create a new type of reality, a new type of network, but we understand that there's the reality that we live in. We can't defer from it totally and just totally say, you know, screw it all. But if we just totally take up what everything is right now and just talk about only talked about the Oscars, and we never hit any political stuff like what we did in the first portion of the show, and we didn't even cover any personal stuff or do anything, we're not really giving the audience a full show. So that's one of those things that, you know, we had talked about it, you know, in the beginning about being righteous with our show, and that's one thing that we're trying to do here. So
and that's why we're going to Texas.
Yeah, and that's where we're going into this. This is this next section we're going into, which is actually we are working with suborbital systems, suborbital networks, suborbital systems / networks. And they are a internet company. Now, we've talked about this before. They provide internet for free. In fact, I believe it's mainly just $30 is what you pay for the kit if you want to launch a balloon. And we're going to go into deeper detail with this, but we just want to let you guys know that we are going to be heading out to Texas within about a week and some change. And when we head out to Texas, we will be broadcasting live from SatX. And SatX is actually the main depot that we're going to have there. We're going to take Mad Maxine.
Which is our car, and we're going to, you know, totally trick her out. Just going to be a whole lot of upgrades.
Like what type of upgrades?
It's like big bulky tires, huge grill, you know.
Sounds kind of heavy.
It's hard to sell an idea.
To fund a dream.
We're just two regular guys.
We We define ourselves by where we come from.
Where we want to go.
By those who came before us.
By the loved ones we've lost.
By who we work with.
By the people we want to help.
By the people we need to help.
Our inspirations are those who spark change.
Yes, we can.
That the only way we bring change in this country is when millions of people stand together.
The ones who started something.
The rebels.
The innovators.
Dream builders.
We're just working for our shot.